Also, a little nice touch if you're paying attention, you'll notice the sky is no longer red. Remelia basically says, congratulations, you actually defeated me. Not bad. And, from what I've learned... So, long story short, Remelia wants you to go to the basement. However, unlike most cases, you actually have two options. The two options are you can just walk onto the throne and the map ends instantly. That's it. No other effort required. Just a nice stroll to the victory line. That is because this map is optional. The alternative way is to go back the way you came and do the extra stage. Remelia mentions, by the way, that there's been more explosions than usual in the basement. And if you before you walk out, Remelia tells you to watch out for her, though not saying who this mysterious her is. Simply mentioning that you'll see. So the first half of the stage is again kind of musical. And that makes sense because we're going back through memory lane through the previous stages. Okay, so the same strategy from the previous map still applies. You want to rocket these guys and get them all in one shot if possible. It's a lot easier this time though. Ow. So, this stage was, as you can see, is just me reusing my previous stages, and as a result, its design went pretty quickly. Hooray for boxes. And yeah, Kookuma comes back for round 2. She is pretty easy, though. However, with Kookuma back, you might be able to predict who comes next. Patchouli, round 2. And Patchouli, you might notice, also says, first her, and now you, as if mentioning this mysterious her. And yeah, Patchouli's fixed this time around. Oh, right, I forgot you want to be in a very specific position for this card. Five elements. And yep, Patchouli goes really all out today. Okay, next up is probably the hardest part of the stage. Want to try not to use too much of the ammo here. It's very important that you save as much as that as possible. For what? You'll see. You use some of it, particularly the rockets, but try not to waste too much of it if you can. And yeah, that fight with the pink fairies is kind of scary because they all shoot large amounts of bullets, and one mistake there can just completely eat your face off. Take that, Melee, and you're toast. Yeah, mostly you can just use your rockets. I'm not gonna lie, the end of the stage is pretty throwaway. Oh yeah, fun fact. I better not go in there. Patchouli seemed mad today. If you try to go back in the library, you're denied. Wait a minute. Remelia never gave me the blue key. Guess I have to go back. Yep, fun fact. You don't have the blue key. I gave it. So now, yeah, you have to go back and... Sorry for the wait. So, yes, anyone who knows Touhou knew this fight was coming. Flandre Scarlet is the younger sister of Remilia, and honestly, I'm very happy with how this fight ended up. It's a masterpiece of recreation from Touhou 6. Every non-spell and every spell card replicated faithfully, or in some cases creatively, as I decided to go with a creative.
I'm very upset every time I found a bug in this fight for some reason.
And if I'm not sure if my brother who tested this pointed out, but yeah, if his voice picked up or not. But yes, my brother was the main tester for this, and I was not the biggest fan of some of the bugs he discovered. Actually, if I'm going to be honest, I wish the code had a face so I could punch it. Oh my god, I hate... The implementation of this fight is the worst thing I've ever done, and everything about it sucked. I'll try to go through the list of bugs I had to fix, but there are so many I quite literally can't probably go through all of them. So, this first fight had a bug that is actually just so hard. I literally can't explain the first bug this one ran into because it just requires so many stages. But all I will say about this bug is that I did get to unironically and very ironically invoke the but first we'll have to talk about parallel universes meme. And to be able to invoke that legitimately is both hilarious and kind of sad. Okay, the trick with this one is that one of them got stuck inside a pillar. That happens sometimes. And yeah, that happens sometimes. I'm going to just utilize the fact that this happened to, well, make this card easier. That doesn't always happen, and sometimes you should just, which one's her? That's one. So, but yes, everything about this fight was a giant pain to implement. The sheer length of it made it take forever, and that's to say nothing of many... Oh, this one. So, this had a really bad habit of making the bullets not despawn, and sometimes that still happens, and I don't know why. Also, it's a great demonstration of three-dimensional interactions of projectiles, or more appropriately, how they don't interact. Okay, good, it actually cancelled. And in general, this fight's absolutely crazy. Okay, this is a puzzle card. It looks like one of those spiral cards that you have to try and micrododge from the opposite corner, and you can do that, but the intended way is to do this. And Flandre's entire fight is a bunch of gotchas like this, where basically if you don't know what you're doing, you will die, but if you do know what you're doing, it's often quite easy. The blue-green spiral requires you go right around her, and the yellow-red one requires you go left. Alright, wasn't too bad. Okay, Starbow break. The thing about this one is that the whole thing is aimed in one direction, and while it's delayed, it being aimed in one direction means that you can basically run behind Flandre as a technique. Like that. Oh wait, this is the one this is the one non-spell that's actually kind of tricky. Most of our non-spells are trivial. This one is, well, can be tricky. This spell card is kind of chaotic. Oh yeah, right. That card had a bit of an interesting problem where it, sometimes you could just kind of hide in a corner the entire time. I had to add the aimed variant of it that she sometimes does to force it. This card has given me so many problems that I don't actually have enough time to go over all of them in the length that it will take to dispel it. The biggest one, Chief, is amongst them is that the lasers had some significant problems despawning. And they'll angle up like that sometimes. Counterclock is a nightmare, and it's one of the few cards that can just delete the player, but sometimes I don't care because just the fact it works was enough for me. It's obnoxious, but I like how it looks. This card had a lot of problems, but mostly related to balance, actually. I was amazed at how well this one mostly worked. It's hard to explain how... Oh, okay, get ready. For anyone who knows Doom modding, get ready for the hackiest of hacks. The way I implemented this card is a bunch of monsters that are invisible monsters using the Lost Soul code pointers. Yeah, these things are essentially invisible Lost Souls that shoot bullets at you while they're flying. Get ready for that as fans of League of Legends may have heard of coded as minions. I wish I could say this is the last time I invoke that. It is not. And yes, auto map view can tell you that this is a rough but fairly faithful recreation of the card from in Touhou 6, Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. So now I'm going to try and make my way to the opposite end of the room for a reason you'll see very shortly. Ow, I'm having a bad end to spell card. Okay, 170, 170, that's not bad. Last card. So, another fun fact about the timeout. I had to make an invisible target that is uninteractable in most cases, but is very technically shootable, because otherwise I couldn't make the targets during the second phase actually target the center of the room properly. Finally, we have this card. So, bullets can't bounce off the back wall. The Doom engine doesn't really support this, so how I did that was mostly by making the back wall an invisible wall of shootable actors. This way they wouldn't bounce off of it, because apparently if the actor is decorative, and purely decorative, they just bounce off of it, as if it was a wall. Come on! I can't believe I just did that. I first tried Flandre. That was actually first try. That was actually first try! Oh my god! And yeah, Flandre was a gigantic nightmare. Everything about this fight, it works, but as I said, Counterclock had so many issues, most of which were related to the fact that the lasers didn't despawn, that I quite literally do not have enough time to explain every bug that happened while the card's going on, because I did not have enough time before the timeout started. And yeah, QED, the last spell, has no tactical advice. It's basically a pure dodge everything. If you have used too many of the medikits in the back, it can be a real nightmare. As you see, I saved that Megasphere. And yeah. That's map 8, and that is the extra stage. I actually did it. Never again, Flandre. Never again. I hated implementing this so much. And we're almost done. Episode 8. Or not episode 8. We're almost done episode 1. And actually, I'm going to include the outro map. The reason is that there's not much to talk about it. It's never been changed throughout any of Touhou Doom's implementation. You do, however, get a BFG. And yes, I bring the Doom monsters back, mostly to highlight the differences between normal Doom monsters and Touhou enemies. Not quite enough ammo to kill all the monsters here, with only the BFG. Of course, you'll need to switch to the rockets. But overall, pretty harmless last map. But yes, this is confirming that, in fact, the demon sightings were real. There are monsters. I'm gonna pick up some more ammo, though I don't really need to for reasons pertaining to the obvious. And as you've probably noticed, I keep giving you weapons in each map. This is just because it's a nice thing to do. So the maps aren't unplayable from pistol start. I'm really bad at using the BFG. I'm bad at fighting cyber demons. Yeah, in Lunatic there's 3 of them. Oh. What could go wrong? Oh no! Oh no, it's one of those fancy map endings that tries to kill you. It was a trap all along! Somehow this feels familiar. Kinsokyo, a wondrous place, full of magic and strange people. A place that the demons have selected as their next target. Even as they tear you apart, sending you to who knows where, you know that somehow, the demons will pay. That is the end of episode 1. And yeah, I guess I should probably give my overall episode 1 commentary. Mostly this was kind of a proof of concept. Touhou Doom was not supposed to spiral and become the huge project it was. It started as a proof of concept, a silly proof of concept, and its true origins I'll probably delve deeper at some point when I have time. But that is, episode 1 is kind of the proof of concept. As much as I hate to admit it, most of the developmentally interesting stuff happens in later episodes. Primarily, of course, the Touhou side of Touhou Doom starts to shine a lot more in episodes 2 and 3. So, in the end, when I released episode 1, it took me. There were a lot of issues. There were bugs. It was not pretty. My main tester found a lot of bugs. How many bugs? I'll put it this way. It took me 9 releases to get the first episode mostly bug-free. And to me, that was to say nothing of various touch-ups where I went back and made some night maps look nicer. And if you thought those maps were ugly, you might think, wait, look nicer. They didn't look that good. Yeah, trust me. When I said I had no idea how to map when I started this, I mean I had no idea. I had to go back and make a lot of that look better. I was going to give a shout out. Zikri made this particular title screen. So, thank him for that. Obviously, Zune did most of the inspirational source for this because he's the maker of Touhou and basically the sole maker of it. And soon enough, we'll meet on episode 2. But for now, I think this is a good place to cut it off.